Hey guys, it's me. If this is your first video of mine, my name is Rowe. I'm a working musician. I have kind of a serious topic to talk about today. Serious, but something that I think can help you in your life if you've clicked on this title of this video. So yeah, I'm a working musician and I've toured and recorded pretty much my whole life. I got a divorce 12 years ago. So I've got like a lot of healthy time between this video and when it happened. So I can talk about these things pretty freely now and not go into some kind of traumatic relapse of emotional distress. Yes, so if you are a working musician and you are getting a divorce, I have 3 solid tips for you. And these tips really can apply to anybody who's going through a divorce. You don't have to be a musician for this to be applicable. So you're getting a divorce, and this is probably the most traumatic emotional thing that you're going to go through in your life outside of death or serious illness. If somebody in your family died, certainly that would be hurt you more. Maybe not. This is all subjective, right? The key to this whole thing is you're in survival mode. You probably never saw this coming. Even if you did, the reality of it is hard to swallow when it eventually happens. And you're not sure what to do. In fact, you don't even know who you are or where you're going. And you're thinking about your whole life and you're like, was it a mistake even getting married to this person? Yeah, I mean, so many things are running through your mind. I personally don't have kids, so if you have kids, I'm sure that's a whole other thing that I can't relate to. But these are the 3 tips that I learned during my divorce that really, really helped me. When it first started, I heard a knock on my door as I was leaving the house that my wife and I lived in. And it was my neighbor. And she had become friends of ours. Actually, it was my neighbor and her husband. They knocked on the door. They knew that I was leaving and moving back to my home state here in Jamestown, New York. I was in South Carolina at the time. And so I opened the door and my neighbors were there, and she gave me the best advice at that moment. She said, Kev, remember to breathe. So breathe. That is tip number 1. One word, simple, just breathe. And at the time, I wasn't into like meditation or mindfulness or spirituality. Well, kind of, but I had no idea what she was saying. And I was in such a survival status mode that I was like, sure, breathe. That's going to work, right? But it really, really worked. Like, throughout that week, if ever I was feeling bad, I would just remember to breathe. And then, boom, I was feeling a little bit better again. Like, it was to get in touch with your physicality as a human. And just like circulating blood through your system. By doing that, it takes you off of the negative emotions and stories that are going through your mind. Like constantly we have these stories, and in survival mode, like going through a divorce, it's just terrible. You're constantly thinking about the situation and how you got here and where you're going and the sadness of it. And when you remember to breathe, you don't have time to think of that story. So it's like a pattern interrupt. It's a good way to put it. So that's step number 1, breathe. Step number 2, rely on family and friends. There's a good chance that all the circumstances and details of your life are being turned upside down right now. You're probably moving, or somebody's moving. All your schedules are being changed, all your economics are being changed, all your friends might be being changed. But yeah, if you can rely on your family and the friends that are closest to you, that will really, really help. This is like the time to ask for help and take it, because they know the pain you're going through. They got to know your spouse really well. They probably love that person and are just as sad as you are about the whole thing. And they want to be there for you. And when you start hanging out with your family and friends and telling your story and sharing your sadness with them, you're getting out those negative emotions, like getting it all off your chest. You can't go through this alone. It will take longer, and it will just not be good. I mean, you kind of need to heal from this and move on, and you're going to go through like the 5 stages of healing. I forget what they are, but they're like, denial, I think, is the second one, and then there's anger and acceptance, and like all those phases are going to happen in the next coming years. But in this immediate traumatic survivor status that you're in right now, family and friends are huge. So go hang out with them and start having fun. Like, you need to meet new people, and your friends and family will introduce you to those people and get you out of the house and get you doing other fun things. You know, you don't have to go crazy. Like, you just need to start seeing a new chapter in your life, you know? So yeah, step 1 is breathe. Step 2 is rely on family and friends. And step 3 is stop talking about your divorce. This was one I learned the hard way, because what happens is your divorce becomes your story. Like, it's the thing you tell your family and friends, and sure, it's big news for like the first week, month, maybe a year to some people, but there are worse things happening in the world than your divorce. And like, people are dying and getting sick, and other people are getting divorces, and the world goes on. And if you keep talking about your divorce, you're bringing people down. You want to be a fun person to be around. Like, so what ended up with me is, I think I went a little too long talking about my divorce, and then I became aware enough that I would be out and I might bring it up and the whole mood would change. And then you're kind of repelling people and pushing people away when you just want to talk about negative stories from your past, right? So I think maybe the window on that is 6 months. You know, after 6 months, you should not be talking about your divorce. And if you can cut it to like 3, you're in a good position, because it means you're able to meet new people with a good face on. So yeah, those are my 3 tips to getting a divorce for a musician. And like I said, you don't have to be a musician for this to work. Let's review those 3 steps just for a good summary. Step 1, breathe. Step 2, rely on family and friends. Step 3, stop talking about your divorce. Thanks for watching this video. I do hope it helps you out. I know this is a crazy time in your life. Like, nobody expects it. And it doesn't have to be like a defining characteristic to you as a person. Lots of people get divorced. And like, there are a lot of other societal things in play here that you're gonna figure out in the next 10 years. You're gonna look at marriage differently and hopefully grow from all of this. And if you get remarried again someday, then you'll have this experience to draw from and make it work. Or maybe you'll never get married at all. Who knows? Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And or go watch some of my music videos. Listen on Spotify. Talk to you later. Bye.